and deliberate practice. So anyway, thanks very much, Morris, for bringing up McDavid, because we've edited some video of him in games where, boy, he just, you can't defend him on a rush. You'll lose D side, you'll get beat, and now he's starting to play make with that skill. And it's amazing to me that with two players like they've got, Dom, that they haven't achieved more. I think the balance of the value of the other players and how you play the team game. And this is a case where the best team wins. And I don't think they've really created a team culture yet. And I'm not sure if it's possible when you have stars.
Well, yeah, I guess it's getting your buy-in from your stars. Oh, CMO.
Love the feedback.
We talked about it, Tim, about trying to get your best players play 5-on-5, right? Like, you look at in Pittsburgh there, how they separated those two guys. They've made lines with those two guys, and the buy-in of Sid. I remember. So it's a quick story. I was able to talk with someone close to Sid, and just his mindset right when he was around the time right after. I don't know if they had won. I don't know if they had won the first one yet. I don't think they had, but the mindset and what his goals were totally different from when he started from then when he won. Like his mindset was about on how he was going to conserve himself for, basically looking at it objectively over the course of a year, and not necessarily playing every game to win, just trying to I can get this many points, I'm going to score this many points over the course of this many years, then this will be my legacy at the end, as opposed to being, okay, you know what, this is a process to go through as a team, and we got to figure this out. And I think that his mindset had changed. And, you draw on examples without knowing them specifically, like Modano in Dallas before Hitch got there, and the way that he changed, like Yzerman in Detroit, how he was, but then he changed, like his points. He came to the realization, this is about the team, and whether I get 119 or I get 80, I'd rather get 80. And I dealt with it as a player as well. I wanted more than anything to win a championship, and led the league in scoring and everything else, and was elusive. And the moment I realized that me being on the third line was better than me being on the first line, like that has to clue in. And I think for those two players, that has to you have to come to that realization in your career of what's important to you for your better players. Because, hey, I get it. You're on a team, and you're expected to be the best player in the league, and you want to win Hart trophies and this and this and that, and you need to take risks on. If you take risks, you're going to be able to get the puck, and you're going to be able to get chances, and yeah, you're going to score. But guess what? I don't think, and again, this is just my opinion, but there's a reason why that team is not able to win with two of the best players in the game. Right? I think it comes down to the mindset of your stars. So if the mindset of your stars is now blocking pucks like Mitch Marner does, right? You're going to go a lot further than, not even, they get kicked out in the first qualification round, right? Like both of those guys were rolling. I think that to me is the issue. Those guys got to buy in. Those guys got to buy in to that, whatever's best for the team. And if that means they got to be better 5-on-5, then that's what that means. If it means that they have to not play with one another, and the power play doesn't run at 40% or whatever it is, well, that's what you need to do. And again, hearing a little bit feedback from like inner circles, that seems to be the frustration of the coaching staff there a little bit. But
how do you get buy-in? how does it coached? What's the answer? Because that's your job.
Yeah. Well, I think the buy-in is like ultimately it all comes to me. It comes down to the individual, what the individual wants. You have to at some level make them think that this is gonna benefit them. So if you say, and whether it's McDavid or whether it's Draisaitl, it's okay. Like, what are we trying to do? If we're trying to win, well, then we need to, and you got to get the buy-in that they think that it's going to help them in some way. And again, hey, that's not. I probably have a different job if I could somehow convince those two guys of sacrificing 20 points to be able to for the better good. But what are your thoughts there, Tim?
Well, it's a tough one, and I'm not sure it's as simple as you have to sacrifice points.
Maybe it's a bad example, but yeah.
Well, yeah, and I know what you're getting at, because it's absolutely true, at least from my seat, that Draisaitl in particular is not part of the collective defensively. He's out there playing like a really skilled bantam kid, chasing the puck around all over the place without regard for his individual responsibility in the collective defense. When they're in their zone, or whether forechecking, whatever it is, basically playing a puck chasing game. And I think McDavid's maybe as guilty as well, maybe not quite as, but they just don't have, from my seat, a very good awareness of collective defense. And I think that's how Yzerman changed, how Modano changed, and some of those other great players is they, however, learned or developed or made the decision that this is important to me. It's important to me to be a complete player, and more importantly, it's important to my team that I commit to this. So I think it's more that than just saying you need to give up points. You might give up some points, but I don't think so. Like those two guys, the better they play defensively, the more they're going to have the puck, and the more they're going to score.
Right.
So that's part of the message, I think, is help us get it back, help us defend, and now you're going to be playing in the other team's zone more. It's kind of that simple, and they don't seem to have a base level understanding of that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but that's hard, Tim. That's hard to get it back, right? Like that takes some grunt work in times, right?
Absolutely.
Like yeah. So,
and it's the understanding that every time you go on the ice, like you're not going to get to go on offense every time necessarily you go on the ice.
Yeah.
The shift length is part of that, and that's one of the things we preach a lot with our girls is like, you jump over the boards and you're in our zone for 35, 40 seconds. Even if you're doing a great job, you get the puck back. It's not the time for you to now go and attack.
Yeah.
You need to find a way, if we can, to possess it in the offensive zone and get a change, because that's a team skill. And that's putting the needs of the team ahead of the coach. And yeah, it's grunt work for sure with some people. And that's what we get paid the big bucks for.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same issue with elite kids, the best player kids?
Sure.
It's the same at Bantam, and it's the same at midget and peewee, and it's the same in junior. Yep. And some of them never grow out of it. Some of them never get reached.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, Rick. I mean,
that gets down to bench management, and that starts in minor hockey. Double shifting because of the best players going up the ladder. Used to have long shift ice time, and just discovering the importance of high level play, and the team wins. And it starts in minor hockey. That's bread. That's bread. They get rewarded, and I often refer to Sam Steele with the Regina Pats watching the Memorial Cup, and how tired he was because his shifts were too long, and he was out on the ice every second shift. And that's the kind of thing that you're the coach. You create the culture. You create the line combinations and manage the bench. And it's not very difficult to appreciate that. It may be harder to deliver on an NHL team, but that's what you're paid for. And I don't know that in Calgary yet to solve the mystery of star players on that team, trying to create a team and becoming a part of buy-in. And it's really interesting. It's what makes these sessions interesting because we're talking about things and thinking about things. And we're not in the trenches. You're the closest guy to it, Dominic. So it does start, Rick. Thank you for bringing that up in minor hockey. That whole project of mine is don't ruin them that young. Don't ruin them that young. See you later, Dom. Okay.